Hello and welcome to the LGBT plus video series. My name is Helen Clegg, my pronouns are she, they, and I'm the Trans and Non-Binary Officer for the LGBT Staff Network Salford Proud here at the University of Salford. The LGBT Staff Network is for LGBT staff members and for allies. This video series aims to be an informal introduction to a number of LGBT plus identities, allowing allies to learn a little bit more about the ways that LGBT plus people may define themselves and also what that label might mean to them. A quick reminder that all labels are for self-identification, and it can be quite rude or hurtful to use a label for someone who doesn't identify with that label. So just make sure that you check with that person that you're speaking about or to see if that label's okay to use for them. In our last video, we discussed asexuality and how some people may define it. Today, we're going to be discussing the word transgender. This word is a little bit different to the ones we've discussed previously, as it's talking about someone's gender and not their sexual or romantic orientation. In our culture, babies are assigned either boys or girls at birth or before birth, usually by the parents or the doctor. This is done usually by looking at the baby's genitals, but not much else is considered. With these assignments come cultural norms for boys and girls, and we're expected to follow them within our society. For example, we hear things like girls are supposed to be more emotional, creative and communicative, and boys are supposed to be more logical, physical and outgoing. However, these assumptions surrounding behaviour and expression can feel very wrong to a trans person. Things like clothing, behaviours and body parts are gendered within our society, and those who don't follow the right ways to behave within a certain gender are often challenged for not following the rules. Gender is an innate feeling that we have within ourselves and has nothing to do with our bodies, hobbies, occupations or behaviours. Simply put, transgender is any gender identity that is different from the gender you were assigned at birth. Trans or transgender is an adjective. It's a word that's used to describe a gender identity. The opposite of trans is cisgender. Being cisgender means that you identify with and are comfortable with the gender you were assigned at birth. Here are a few things that are worth noting. Firstly, things like clothing, body parts, speech patterns, occupations, hobbies. These things don't have gender because they're inanimate concepts or objects. There's nothing inherently manly or womanly about something like a t-shirt. Anyone of any gender can wear any item of clothing because clothing doesn't have gender, only people do. Secondly, whilst things like a person's body parts inform the assignment of gender and from that inform somebody's assumptions about that person, it's really rude to ask a trans person about their genitals or if they've had surgery to change any parts of their bodies. Firstly, it's none of your business. A trans person's body is not a spectacle which you have the right to access. And secondly, it's just plain rude. You wouldn't like it if a stranger came up to you and asked about your genitals. And lastly, not all trans people have the same experiences. You may have heard of trans people undergoing certain surgeries to change their body parts as a way to alleviate some distress that they might feel. Some trans people will never undergo any kind of medical or social transition, possibly due to a lack of funds, long waiting lists, lack of social support, or just because they don't want to. Being uncomfortable with your body is not a prerequisite for being trans, and there's no one way to experience being trans. Everybody's different, and that's what makes us as human beings special and interesting. Many trans people see transitioning as a way of revealing their true selves to the people around them. They have not changed so that you see them differently, they've changed to show you who they really are. For more information about Salford Proud and the University's Inclusion and Diversity team, please see the description box below. See you next time!